is everybody doing? Welcome to my page. My name is Michaela from Paint Fixation. I'm just pulling it up on my phone here so I can see what's going on. Let me turn my volume down. Hang on. Okay. Here we go. How's everybody doing tonight? Actually, it's not tonight. It's the afternoon. It's 3 o'clock. I know it's a weird time to do a live, but I really need to get this stuff done, and I've been wanting to do it with you guys because I don't think I've done a transfer on furniture, maybe on a piece of glass, but I don't think I've done furniture transfers with you guys. So, if you're new to my page, please say hello. Let me know that you're here. I can see there's people here, but not who's here. Say hi. And if you don't know me, like I said earlier, my name is Michaela, and I live in Middleburg, Florida, where I am an elite retailer for Dixie Belle Paint. And what that means is I can carry all of the Dixie Belle Paint line plus the new Silk line, which is our new all-in-one mineral paint. And both of my locations, I have one in Fleming Island at Junk in the Trunk, and then I have one also in Middleburg at Deep South Crafts. Okay, so if you are local to the Middleburg, Jacksonville area, you can come and get all your stuff there. And also, we do classes. Usually, I schedule them through Deep South because I rent the Middleburg Civic Association through them. Hi, Andrea. And so we've been trying to get at least one class a month going. We have noodleboard classes. We have an updating a book class. We have a rusty anchor class. We have a lot of fun stuff that's coming up. So if you are interested in doing classes, go ahead and get on my page, and you can go to the events tab and see what's coming up. And it'll tell you when the time is, the date, the date, the time, what you need to bring, how to register, all that good stuff. Hey, hey, Ronnie. So without further ado, let me tell you what I'm working on. Okay, so this is a little piece that I got. It's originally from a local wood shop here in Middleburg. So I am painting this with Colonel Mustard and Sandbar. These are both from the Chalk Mineral Paint line. And then I'm also going to be waxing it with some brown wax, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And I'm using one of the Dixie Belle company's new transfers, the sunflower transfer. I actually don't have the tube out here, but you can see on here that I've already got a couple on here. I've got some on the side over here. Okay, so I just place them here. They go really, really, really well around corners. It looks like our video was paused for a minute. So I'm going to just show you on this. I've already done this door, and on here on the ground I have the other door opening that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to show you how I did some waxing. If we have time, I might do a transfer on the other side. I haven't done those yet, but I'm going to. And then this little guy here, excuse me, this is a knob that I made out of clay. Let me see if I can show you it. Okay, this is just the original knob, or just these little round knobs. So I took some clay, and I used one of my molding kits and just used some leaves from it and made a sunflower, and I painted it and just put it up there to see if I like it. I think I'm going to dig it. So I might show you how I painted that if I have time. I'm not sure. So let me bring y'all down here and show you what the transfers look like when you get them out of a tube. This is all kind of wonky. I was trying to go live with my phone with a dual stream, but StreamYard was not being very nice to me. So I'm going to tilt you down. You won't see me. You don't need to see me for this. And I'm going to show you how to apply the transfer to the door. Okay. If you have questions, please ask. Okay. I'm a little flustered with the whole technology thing, so if I forget something I'm doing something and you don't know why I'm doing it, please just ask. And if I don't see it during the live, then I will be sure to go back and answer any of your questions after the live. So let me just zoom this in a little bit so that we can get, I think that's good. Let's see. Okay. You don't need to see me. Okay. There we go. Okay, so this is the door right here. Okay, this is what goes into the insert for the door. I'll just move this way. Okay. This has been painted with sandbar. It is raw, unsealed. Let me turn this a little bit more. I hate this camera. Hang on. It's like everything's backwards. I'll get this. Hang on. Okay, there's the camera. All right, push it back. Okay. All right, so this is painted with raw chalk mineral paint. It has not been sealed with anything. Okay, you can put your transfers directly over the raw paint, which is what I prefer to do, and then seal them afterwards. You can seal them with wax or you can seal them with clear coat. I don't like to use the gator hide. If I'm going to use gator hide, just because there's been issues in the past with transfers and gator hide, I don't know that there's been any issues with Dixie Belle's transfers, but and usually I don't even put the transfers where it needs to be gator hide, like on the top and stuff. So this is part of the sunflower transfer. My camera's trying to autofocus. I apologize for that. But if I take the autofocus off, then it just doesn't focus at all. And you get these sheets. And this one, it had 3 sheets. I've already cut up the first one. Okay, so this was part of the sheet that is up on the piece now. And then you get all these beautiful images. Aren't those pretty? And it comes with a protective backing. So this white part back here is what protects the sticky side. You don't want to take this off until you're ready to use transfer. Okay. Then you also get a stick. You can, if you have a transfer squeegee thing, you can use that. But these work perfect. I've never had to use anything but this. And then it also comes with an instruction sheet that just gives you a basic rundown of how to apply the transfer. Okay, but they're pretty easy. They're not hard. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this out. I like to leave a little bit of room on the edges just because I get a little crazy with the stick and then I end up getting marks on my paint. But they come off easily because I can just paint over them. Alright, so I'm removing the backing, okay? And then on the one that's on there already, I had the flower come all the way to the edge over here. So I'm going to try and mimic the same look. And it's got a nice straight bottom on it. And so I'm going to line that up right at the bottom, just like so. And the way I did that one, because I have not done a ton of transfers, this is kind of like my 3rd time doing this. So I'm just trying to show you really how easy it is even for a novice to go around these edges and stuff. So the first thing I did was I worked, because this, you see that this has a lip on it. I worked from the bottom and I worked up, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is just get this transfer on this bottom just to get it stuck so it doesn't move. I'm not really burnishing it all the way so that it releases. I'm just getting it so it doesn't move around. Okay? And then I'm just going to put it down and just, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way around this way, like this. Okay? It may not be the best way of doing it. I've seen some people cut them, but I didn't have scissors out here. So I'm going to do it the way I did it, and we're just going to hope for the best. So now I'm going to start burnishing it down, and I'm going to work my way around like this. I'm basically just bending the plastic so that it can adhere to the edge there. And then I'm going to push this down just so that it is getting stuck on there. See how it just releases? Look at that, how easy that was. Okay, and so I'm gonna make sure this edge right here is stuck on before I keep going, because I want this, at least the bottom, to be nice and lined up, straight. Okay, so I know it's straight. Okay, and so I'm just going to keep working my way this way. And if it pulls up, if you start to pull it up, and see how this flower is not, it's not staying down, you just push it down and then see how it's releasing. It doesn't take a whole ton of pressure. I've only used a few of these transfers. I had used another line that we carried in the past, and these are very user friendly. I have not used, I think I did one video with the decoupage papers with you guys on a book, and I am so super impressed with the decoupage papers. I'm just in love with them. I'm always trying to think of new projects to use them on. I'm actually going to be doing a book class, and we're going to be using decoupage papers for that. But these transfers are equally impressive. I really like them. I like how natural they look after they're on the paint. See how that's just pulling up? You just take your time. See, yes, Ronnie's right. I do have them at the store, and anything that I don't have in stock, I can order or drop ship. If you don't have a local retailer, I'm happy to drop ship right to your home. So I'm just working it all the way across, okay? They're very, I'm surprised just because of the stiffness of this plastic, how well the transfer lays. I got a little piece there that's wanting to stay on the paper, so I'm going to give it a little stick up. I'm just impressed by the way that they go around the curves, because there's no wrinkles in the one I did there. Now, I'm not promising this one won't. I'm going to try and do it without wrinkles. But so far, this one's doing really well. Now, I top coated that one over there with clear coat because I'm going to wax it. I don't usually do that. Now, this one right here kind of bent up a little bit, and it got a little on top of itself. But this is actually going to be behind the door frame, so that doesn't really matter. But even if it didn't, when I pull this up, I'll show you how it just looks. It looks good. It doesn't look bad. You can't even tell. Actually, it didn't fall back. It just pulls them off. Now I'm just going to lay this back down. So now it's completely released. Okay, and I'll show you what it looks like before I burnish it. Okay, so isn't that beautiful? You can see at the angle there, you can see a very, very slight halo, that little edge on it. Can you see this little edge right here? There's a very slight halo, but it's hardly noticeable. These are a matte finish, which I love. They don't look like a sticker. And I'm just going to use the plastic, and I'm going to go around and burnish it a little bit more. I usually use a finishing pad to burnish these down. We have finishing pads that we sell, but I don't have one out here in the garage. So I'm just going to do this and show y'all. I'm going to burnish down these edges and show you how, after you burnish them, the halo is even less noticeable, and then it becomes even less noticeable when you seal it. This is a terrible time of day to do a live. Everybody's at work, but that's okay, because we're going to have people watching on the replay. And I have a few people here locally that are really nervous about using transfers, and I wanted to make sure to do a video for those guys. Okay, and then I'm just going to put my finger, and I'm going to make sure I don't have any bumps or ridges. I want it to all be very nicely adhered. And then before I put any sealer on this, I will burnish it again with my finishing pad, because I like to use those to burnish them. I can really get them down good. And that way you don't have to worry about any of the clear coat seeping underneath your transfer and releasing it, or causing bubbles or that stuff. And that's it. That's how easy that is. Okay, so see, you still see it just a little bit, but it's not as pronounced. And isn't that just beautiful? Now, let's see. I think I'll show you one on the side of this too. Let's do one more, and then we'll do some things. You know, we're doing this vertically or horizontally, and that's, you know, you don't usually do your furniture that way. It's usually upright. So let's do it together. All right. There we go. Oh, let me back this up a little bit more. Okay. I have one up there, one little curved around the edge there, but I'm going to put one down here. And let's see, where do I want to put it? I think I'm going to put it down here. And I can't really lower y'all down, but I can do this, I think. And let me see if I can brighten this up some. Is that better? Okay. All right, so if you have any questions while I'm doing this, just let me know. And I think I'm going to use, so these are the ones I have left to pick from. I do have another roll outside in the house, but I don't want to open it if I don't have to. So I'm thinking, I really like this flower. This one here, I love how it looks aged. I'm not sure how I feel about the long stem, but I don't really need the whole stem. What do you think about something like that? I'm going to cut it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut it out so that I can kind of get a better feel about what it looks like. I'm a very visual person, so I have to see things before I do them. Just have to. Okay. So I'm actually going to just hold this down here until I kind of get a feel for the way I like it. This, actually, the long stem doesn't bother me as much on an angle like this. I might lose a little bit of it down there, but I like this, and so I'm going to go for it. Now, if you can see up here, I have this one, and it went right through the crevice, and I'm going to show you down here. There might be a little bit, but what I did was I took my tool, and I just pushed in there, and I'll show you down here. Let's see, is it going to be off for you? All right, so I'm going to take the backing off just like I did before. And before I actually place it on the piece, I'm just going to kind of move it around until I'm happy with the way it looks. And I kind of like the way it looks at an angle like this. What do y'all think? You know, it kind of goes with the flow of the piece. So I'm going to lay it down. And now I'm just going to start burnishing it. I'm losing a little bit of the stem there, but I'm okay with that. And of course, you can cut just the flower out. You know, your imagination is the only thing that prevents you from doing something. You can do anything you want. These layer really nicely. You can place them on top of one another and layer them to give a unique look. So, you know, not everybody has the same looking piece because they have the ability to, like, you could take this, you know, and you could add some more flowers. That would not be the same size, but it would be good. But, you know, you could take some of the other ones that are on here, You know, they're a bit more size appropriate. You could lay them over the top. There's no reason, you know, once you get this one down, you can place another one on top of it and burnish it right on top of it. And it works perfectly. So now I'm going to start to see how much of this is released. And if y'all can tell, I have not been pressing very hard on these. They just release so nicely. All right, and so I'm just going to keep going until it all comes off. You can pull back and see if there's something that's not sticking. Lay your plastic back down. Just do it that way. And you can also, you can sand these back. So let's say you want it to look like the piece had this on there forever and it's gotten worn. You can take your sandpaper after you've gotten it all burnished down and you can actually sand it back. See? Just like that. Sand it back to give it an aged look. So see, can you see here where there's a crack right here? See how the stick sits inside that crack? So when I did the one up there, I wasn't thinking about that when I did it. So this stick fits perfectly in here. So all I did was just take my stick and push in until it tore it. Okay. And then I just went in there and made sure the piece that's in there adhered and everything is stuck. And you can't even tell. I mean, when you get close to it, you can tell. Thank you, Andrea. So when you get close to it, you can tell, but, you know, I have a 4-foot rule. You can stand back from your furniture. If you're obsessing over something on your furniture, you need to step back about 3 to 4 feet and look at your furniture again. And more than likely, when you do that, your perspective on how it looks is going to change because you're not going to see every imperfection. We obsess over it. You know, we look at it closely and we're sitting on top of it while we're working on it, and you know, we're seeing every flaw and every mistake, and then someone will walk in the room and say, I don't have any idea what you're talking about. That looks beautiful, or that looks fine, or whatever. Because they're not looking at it like we do. They're looking at it like anybody else would. A customer looks at something, you know. They're not going to sit and pick every little piece apart because it's a used piece of furniture and they know this. Okay? Look, there we go. It's on there. I love it. Okay. So I will not clear coat these. I like to leave these on here overnight just to make sure they are, you know, stuck. There's no moisture. If they are going to lift, I'll know it, you know, after that day, after a day of it sitting. Just get it back on the rug. Okay. So let me show you what I did up here. I'm going to do a little bit of wax. I'm using the new La Petite brush for the first time. Let me back this up. So you can kind of see right here, this shade right here a little bit. This is where I've already put some wax on here. But I'm just going to show you how I do it. Okay? For this one, I'm just going for, and you can see my fingerprints. I've just put this on here so it's still not dry. I'm using brown wax by Dixie Belle. I'm using the brown wax. And I am going to use the new Dixie Belle La Petite. And this is kind of like the daddy version of the little Frenchie by Dixie Belle. And this is Pixie. The other one is just like this one. It has the same tip. I just picked up the wrong brush. So they both have this type of a tip, okay, but the French tip is about, you know, maybe a third of this. But I wanted to try this one out, and so I pulled it out of the bag, and this has been clear coated twice with a clear coat, so it's already been sealed. And I do that so that I can manipulate my wax better. So I'm dipping it in the wax, okay? I'm going to smush it on my lid, just so it's in the bristles and not sitting on the tip, okay? And then I'm going to just start putting it on. I'm going to wax it down, and I'm going to swirl it so that it's not like a straight line. So it's more of a shade. I'm going right over my transfer. I'm just basically giving everything just a brown, aged hue. Toning down the kernel mustard. Okay, so we're going to put that on there, and I'm just taking a cotton rag, and I'm going to just lightly buff it back. And then I'm going to get one clean side. And you can leave as much or as little as you want. And I'll tell you another thing that I like about these transfers is the other brand that I was using, when I waxed, the edges caught the wax really bad and made it more pronounced, and this does not. They're thinner, I think, and so the edges don't pick up the wax, which I really didn't like with the other transfers. And so these, I'm really happy with it. So I'm going to add a little bit here. And of course, if I get too much or I don't like it, I can go back with clear, and it will sort of erase the wax. But I'm liking this. It's just giving the overall piece an aged look. I'm going to go up here and add some more. I had some here, but I think I'm going to add a little more. Really waxy. That. Love it. Moving to the door. I'm going to wax it while it's in the insert is in here, so that I know exactly what it's going to look like. This has also been clear coated twice. Okay. Let me bring it on just a little bit. So I've got my Frenchie. Now I'm not going to dip any more paint, any wax in here. I'm going to go ahead and use what's on here to start. Again, I'm just tapping it into my lid. Okay, getting that wax in the bristles instead of just on top of the bristles. Rag is pretty dirty. I need to get up with that crack right there. That's the bristle. Oh, it's a shadow. I'm trying to pull it off there. It's just that's a shadow that you see. In that corner. And then I'm going to get this corner. And I think I'm going to go ahead and go up on the flowers a little bit, just because the ones over there now have been aged. And I don't want any of them to look too bright. So it's just almost like a shadow. Okay, we don't want to forget this corner, so we've got this bright yellow right here. So let's get rid of that. This brush is so nice. Like I said, I just used it for the first time. I actually have not clear coated this, so that's going to probably stick on my coat. I forgot that I just put that on there. This brush is very soft. It's a natural bristle, but it's not stiff. I love the tapered bristles for wax. Because normally, when we're waxing, we're usually getting down in the corners. Aging that up a little bit. So you see how we just got a shadow there now? Let's see. Now you can clear coat over your wax. When you're doing decorative wax, you want it to stay like that. You don't want it to have to be reapplied. You can wait, I usually wait 3 to 4 days just to make sure it's good and dry, and then go back and put my last coat of clear coat on it. You don't have to. Wax itself is a sealer. But, usually when you seal with wax, it does need to be reapplied, down the road. And if it's decorative wax, that might be difficult to do for someone who has a piece of furniture. So I like to seal any decorative waxes that I do. Just because I think it makes it easier down the road. Okay. And I'm just darkening up these corners a little bit. Too much off. Yeah, so you can kind of see the difference now if I were to hold this up. You see the difference? So this one's all bright and cheerful, and this one is a brooding door. It's a little bit older, a little bit more beat up, but it also has a little bit more character in my opinion. So what I'll do, I have not sealed this obviously. I'll wait. I'll burnish this down with my applicator, my finishing pad. Make sure I don't have any wrinkles or things. I've got a couple bubbles in there. I'm just pressing them down. And then once I know that it's on there good, then I'll go back with the top coat, seal it, wax it, and then I'm going to also do my other knob and paint it. Does anybody have any questions? I know there's not really people on here. But if you're watching on the replay and you have questions, please let me know. See, I got wax right there and it's not really coming off because that hasn't been sealed. When you wax on top of raw wood, it sticks like glue. It's really hard to manipulate it. So you really want to either use, I like to use Easy Peasy wax or clear coat. Those are my two favorites to use. For this one, I use the clear coat because I see this piece maybe being in a kitchen or something, and I wanted to make sure it had a little bit more protection, so I just use clear coat on it. All right, so that's it for today. That was kind of a short video. But my computer is getting ready to die, so if I continue, it's going to die. But thank you so much for joining me today and joining me on the replay. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. I will put a link to my website if you want to purchase any of the products that I used today, if you're not local and you don't have a retailer. Okay? I've got a couple other things I'm working on. There's a piece behind me I'm working on for a customer. I don't know. I can just take this camera off of here and show y'all. So this is a piece I'm working on right here. I'm adding building waxes to it. Oops. Behind my back. So you see the gilding waxes on the on the right side. So I'm adding gilding wax to that side, and I still have this side left to do. But this is silk Baja gray, and that is gilding wax in bronze. Not pretty. So I'm kind of using it. I'm adding mineral spirits to it and painting it on like paint because we didn't have a color. The mousse should like the gilding wax better, so I'm using mineral spirits and mixing it up and painting it on, and then I'm just burnishing that with my finger on the inside of it. Isn't that pretty? So I've got that one, and then I've got this guy over here. Look at that. I have still not painted that because I don't know what to do to it. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing some blues, maybe antebellum blue, maybe some metallics. I haven't decided yet, but we'll see. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a blessed weekend.